Everyone needs to know what is happening in South Africa right now as we are talking.
My head is so painful if I think about this thing, because I used to love him a lot, and also he used to love me a lot.
This is going to be a very interesting one. So guys, the EFF Gauteng, they have just opened a case against Operation Dudula.
We're here today to open a case against the leader of Dudula. Why is it important that we open a case against the leader of Dudula? Because she's the one who inspires her own people to do that.
The EFF should focus on their own programs and leave Operation Dudula to continue with theirs.
Even though the current constitution of South Africa allowed everyone within its borders to have access to health care, while the Operation Dudula, they've been targeting foreign nationals. For some times now, they've been stopping all the foreign nationals who try to have access to health care, and this woman, she's one of them.
I take the baby on 31 July to Matsekana Clinic on Alexandra. I find the two people outside for the gate who was wearing a green t-shirt. After that, they asked me about ID. I said, I don't have ID. They said, go to private clinic. Mahara Clinic is for South African, it's not for foreigners.
Not long ago, the Gauteng Health Hemisphere had called for all the care officers to not turn away foreigners who are trying to seek medical attention.
But it doesn't mean that we can't service the people when they come. Hence, we have to service them because it's their right to be there. We can't deny them that right of access to healthcare services. Those that are coming from other countries, when they are not well, we must service them. We can't chase them away. It's against the human rights here.
Well, unfortunately, that call was disobeyed by some healthcare officers when Manda approaches some clinic where they refuse to help her with a child, and that end up leading the death of a child.
I go to 8 Even Clinic. They have the worker chase me away. They don't help the foreigners. After I take the baby on Johannesburg Clinic. After they don't help me also, I take the baby on private clinic. They're also on Johannesburg. They help me. The same day on 1 August, the baby died after they helped me on private clinic.
The situation will have not gone this far. Guys, we're talking about a human being who have just lost their life. And this is not something we can take it lightly. This is not something that we can feel proud of. Why? Because we're talking about the human. Anyway, on the other side, in response, the Operation Dudula deny all these allegations. They stay apart from all this. They said they don't have nothing to do with this.
With our reporters, that they need to report the actual news, the truth, when interviewing the mother of the late young man. The mother said 3 times and mentioned that the people that have blocked her were wearing green t-shirts. Now, Operation Dudula, we don't wear green t-shirts, we wear our white t-shirts. Now, looking at how the media had portrayed the whole thing, making it look as if that lady kept saying that Operation Dudula blocked her from accessing the healthcare, which, yes, we do block people from healthcare facilities. But with that one particular, we're going to have to wait for investigations to be concluded, because as they say that they have opened criminal charges against myself and the organization, and we really cannot comment on that much. But we're just cautioning how, our journalists are reporting such matters, and it should not be like that. It shouldn't be biased.
Her statement made the EFF approach the court because they believe there are a couple of questions which she needs to provide in order to clarify the murder of the death of this little baby. The EFF Gauteng, they had approached the Alexandra court and sued this lady with the entire Operation Dudula.
So we must stop trying to deflect our problems that are created by government. Yeah. And then we say, no, those problems are attributed towards this particular thing. No, illegal immigrants or not. A 1-year-old child died. That child does not know whether they are in South Africa legally or illegal. Why must a 1-year-old child die at the expense of old people who want to use the socio-economic conditions of our people for political popularity? For they must be known in society. A 1-year-old must die. So we were here today to open a case against the Dudula operation. We're here today to open a case against the leader of Dudula. Why is it important that we open a case against the leader of Dudula? Because she's the one who inspires her own people to do that. To go into clinics, to go and stop health care to be given to our people. And when we say our people, we mean me and you, by the way. Because it could so happen that you are dark-skinned enough for them to say, well, now you are not a South African. They want to take us back to the golden days of apartheid, where we must now carry our passes to prove that we are South African. There is a country called Lesotho, but we've got people of Sotho origin who are South African. The same thing with Tswana people. We even have, even Tsonga people are attributed as people of foreign origin by people who have no understanding of the demographics of this country. So we cannot allow the denial of public health care to anyone, because the dangers of it is that go tshwarwa COVID, and then because I cannot pass, I go clinic to stop this COVID, then this COVID spreads around the entire Alex, and then the entire Alex joined saying COVID. But this COVID could have been stopped had I been given the necessary medical attention. But because I cannot pass, the entire Alex must now die. We can't allow that.
That is the leader of the EFF in Gauteng. Well, I wish I can comment much, but I don't want to say much because this is a sensitive topic for many people out there. And as we all know, in our days, a lot of politicians, they are using these so-called illegal immigrants in order for them to gain power or to get vote from South Africans.
Why does this thing arise now of Dudula, whereas this situation has been the same? The situation in South Africa has been ongoing for a very long time, but it always arises towards elections, and that is where the problem is that now you have ministers, you have all other political organizations who have expressed their disapproval of this kind of an operation, of an illegal vigilante operation. But they're scared of acting. Why? Because they are thinking of votes. And that is what separates us from the rest of everyone, is that we're not going to allow or say, let as many kids die for us to get a vote. The authorities are scared of these people because these people come into schools, they impose themselves, they look violent, they are disruptive in nature, and therefore they are scared of doing that. But also politically, there is a motivation or some form of a retreat from people who are supposed to be in power, who are supposed to say, let us enforce the law, because they fear that they might lose a vote, or South Africans will, certain group or sections of South Africans will react this way. I mean, there are court declarations on this. There's a constitution on this. And the police are not acting on this as well. And when we go to the police station, the police say, we are not aware. I mean, everyone is aware of what happened in Alexandra. Yeah. But there is a temptation also on some of people in the authorities to allow the situation. And now we must be ruled by some form of past laws in our society.
Why is it that you, as the EFF, do not fear losing votes as a result of your stance?
It is because when we are elected, we must be elected on our principles. And we must be elected on principles that we truly believe in. There were people who were running around in rivers towards elections, skipping rivers, going up and down and shouting, Mabahambe, Mabahambe. And they were elected. And they knew very well that this is not as easy as they say it. They knew that there is a law. They knew that there's process and there's ways to handle things in government. They were shouting and they were elected in government. Here are we today. Those people are still in government. They're not doing anything about it because they entered into government on a ticket of lies, on a ticket of convenience, on a ticket that they are scared that South Africans are going to punish them. And this thing now, everyone is just riding on this wind, and no one is willing to tell the truth. And the EFF, at least, is one organization that is known to stick by what it stands for. And our policies are very clear.
But what is your response to the EFF?
Now, the EFF should focus on their own programs and leave Operation Dudula to continue with theirs, because that mother had money to take the child to a private, healthcare facility. Why did she not just start there? I mean, she mentioned that she went to, I think, 2 public facilities and clinics and then a hospital. Then she decided that she's going to take the child to a private a doctor. Why was that not a priority? Because she knew that she's a foreigner, she's undocumented. She needed to just go straight to a private doctor in sparing the child's life. But that's a story for another day. We will wait to hear from the law enforcers on with regards to the case, and EFF must just stick to their lane and do what they normally do and leave Operation Dudula alone.
You don't hate illegal immigrants, you hate black people. Because if you hate illegal immigrants as much you claim, you will have hate people who came from Holland centuries ago, who came here illegal and tell us what to do in our own land. These people, they came here illegally without having any papers. They even stole our own land. I know you'll tell me that it is not the same because you did not have illegal laws back then. But you also claim that South Africa, it always have borders. Explain to me, how possible can a country have borders when they don't have illegal laws? How possible is that? If there were no laws, which means there were no borders. And if there were no borders, which means there were no a black person who could have been illegal in Africa soil. Simple mathematics is that. How can an African person become illegal in Africa soil? So what are you trying to protect here? You are simply trying to protect these same people who came and drew these lines and said that this is your borders against Zimbabwe or Namibia. These same people who could not even consider you as a human being. These same people who treated you as a slave. These same people who treated you as an animal and compare you to a monkey. Now you are using their map to decide who belongs to this country. These people stole your land, write their own laws. Now, what did we do in return? We let them stay. We rewarded them the citizenship. No one get deported back to your land. So now, why are you having problem? When other people suggest that these people, they should be documented, you suddenly having now problem with that. For an example, when Julius Malema says that these people, they should be documented, you come forward and say that, no, we can't support these illegal behaviors. But you are forgetting that we already did that. We already rewarded the biggest criminal in the history of South Africa, which is white people that were seeing in the street of South Africa, who came here illegally. They get rewarded of everything with farms and a better life, which not even South African have. Because after apartheid, no land was expropriated. Why? Because we let them keep it. No one went to jail for the crime which was committed before apartheid. Imagine you giving white people land which belongs to you. And when other people are asking to give black people documents, which is just a piece of paper, yet you are having problem with that. Guys, the truth is that this country worship whiteness. Can you imagine if a Nigerian did what the young Fanny Riebeck did? I believe we will have started a war by now. But when a white foreigner steals from you, you forgive and forget. Why? Because deep down, you are scared. But you are showing your strength by bullying people who have less power than you. You think you arresting black Africans make you become more patriotic. You are doing all that because the poor black people, they are the one you believe you can win them. You are showing your anger toward black Africans. Yet next to you, you are living with people Dutch who came here illegal. You said we can't tolerate disrespect from foreigners. Yes, I agree with you. But are you referring to the same disrespect that you've been tolerating from these people who came from other continents to Africa soil? What a joke. Guys, I will tell you one thing for sure. What is killing our people, what is destroying our nation today is lack of knowledge. It is a problem of mentality. It is a problem of missing some information, trying to understand the history from where we are coming as a nation to where we are today. Once these points are being addressed, you will see that there won't be anyone out there who will see an African as their enemy. Because hating an African is like hating yourself. Try to use your brain, read a lot in order for you to understand your history as a black child. I believe that's what I can give as a message to everyone who have just watched this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking your time to participate in this conversation. We are looking forward to see you again in our next video. But for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.